A lot of us probably use AI coding agents, but the problem is they have access to your whole computer, they can run things, install things, and look at files that you may not want your AI agent to get access to. So how do we solve that? We use something called Sandboxes, and today I'm going to show you exactly how to set up your own virtual machine or a sandbox to let your AI coding agents run with confidence. So let's get into it. So we're going to run our own Codex agent, an AI agent, but we're going to run it inside a sandbox. And why would we do that? Well, number one, each sandbox gets its own file system and workspace. So the AI agent only has limited access to what it can actually do. Then you can run multiple AI agents. So today we're going to do Codex. We can also run a Claude agent inside the sandbox, and it can only reach allowed hosts via the network, which you are going to set. So you are going to set some restrictions for this AI agent, put it in a sandbox, and have some confidence to let it run wild and let it do whatever it wants to without stressing about it actually messing up your computer or accessing files it shouldn't have. And the cool thing is that you're not limited to one sandbox. You can have multiple sandboxes going at the same time, thanks to Docker Sandboxes, who are kindly sponsoring today's video. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how to set this up, and I'm going to show you guys exactly how to run your first Codex AI agent in the sandbox. So let me show you guys how to get started. To install your first sandbox, it's pretty simple. So you're going to open up your terminal, and if you're on Mac OS, you're going to use the following command: brew install docker/tab/sbx. And if you're on Windows, it's winget install docker.sbx. I'll also put a link in the comments for you guys to get access to the actual developer doc so you can follow the step. But once you put that in, all you have to do is press enter. And since I already have it installed, you're going to see that I just checked for updates, but you're going to get your download links and all of that's going to install for you. Once your files are installed, what you're going to do is actually log in to your sandbox. And the command is pretty simple. It's sbx, and then you type in login. This basically allows you to authenticate and set up your account for the sandboxes, then press enter. And what it's going to do is open up a one-time device confirmation code. So it's opening up a website on your laptop, and you can see that this is a code that we want to make sure is actually connected to our terminal in our laptop. We can see that is the code. So then on your laptop, just press confirm, and that's pretty much it. You can see that I'm already logged in as Universe of AI. Now that you're logged in, you have options to run multiple AI agents in the sandbox. There's Claude Code, Codex, Copilot, Cursor, Droid, Gemini, even Kira, OpenCode, and the own Docker agent. But today we're going to run the Codex one, and this is going to be the one I'm going to show you guys today. So if you want to run your Codex agent or Claude Code, I'll put a link into the description where you can follow that. But if you're running Codex, you can just follow along. To run your first sandbox environment and run Codex for that project directory, you can open up your project directory in terminal. So I'm already in my test folder. It's a pretty empty folder, and I'm going to run Codex in here. And the command is pretty simple. It's sbx run Codex. And if this was Claude, you would just type in Claude instead of Codex and then press enter. And you can see that it started successfully. Now it's checking for any Codex updates. We're going to skip for now. So you can see we are in. So welcome to Codex, OpenAI's own command line coding agent. Do you trust the contents of this directory? You're working with untrusted content. So yeah, we trust this. We're going to press continue. And you can see we are in Codex right now. We have our model selected, which is GPT 5.5. We can change that, the directory we are working in, and the permissions. We have it at Yolo mode. Basically, the agent can do whatever it wants, but it's limited to, remember, this sandbox environment. So you don't have to worry about anything breaking outside of this sandbox environment. So that's the benefit of this. So now what you're looking at right now is actually, think of it like a dashboard of all the sandboxes that you have running at the moment. So you can see the Codex test folder one that we just launched right now. You can see that it has access to all of these networks, and then we can create a new sandbox over here and give it access to these networks or not. So every single sandbox gets its own isolated network, and the sandboxes can't actually talk to each other and can't reach your hosts as local hosts. So there's no shared network between sandboxes or between a sandbox and your host. And all web traffic goes through a proxy on your host, and every bit of traffic leaving a sandbox passes through a proxy on your host that enforces the network policy. So you get to set the rules, and they're enforced outside the sandbox where the agent can't tamper with them at all. So that provides us with a lot of confidence. And if you look at the one sandbox that we launched right now, these are all the URLs it has access to. And let's say if you wanted to, for example, remove access to one of these, if I just click on this, you can easily manage it over here. Click on block and it won't have access to this URL. So you can see how powerful this is, because it gives you that confidence that everything that's working in this sandbox is going to be isolated to this. And if you wanted to create a new sandbox, it's pretty simple. And just to show you guys how to launch that dashboard, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is press SBX, and it'll open up that terminal again. And you can see we have all our access to our new sandbox. Let's say if you wanted to create a sandbox from here, you can create one from here, then press C. And then you can see you can choose what agent you want to do. We did a Codex one. You can do Cloud Code, as I mentioned. So let's say we wanted to do the Codex one again. Then you would give it your GitHub credentials, your OpenAI credentials, and then like workspace environment that you wanted to do and create the sandbox. And now we have both our sandboxes launched, the one that we just created right now at the top and the one at the bottom. And then if you wanted to launch this sandbox, all you have to do is double click on this. And then it's going to tell you want to open on an external terminal. We're going to press yes and just press open. And you can see that once we launch that new sandbox, you can see that it's asking us to sign into ChatGPT, provide our own API key, whatever the case is. So that clearly shows you how you can have multiple AI agents running in different isolated environments, and they won't interfere with each other. They won't interfere with your local desktop because you're limited to that sandbox. So you can have multiple AI agents running different tasks simultaneously at the same time in different sandboxes with a lot of confidence, because none of them will be able to interfere with each other, as well your own host computer. So that's one of the key reasons why running a AI agent through the sandbox is really important nowadays. So right now we're back in the first sandbox that we created in that test folder. And what I'm going to show you guys right now is I'm going to launch OpenClaw in here, and it's going to be limited to this sandbox. Think of it like this, a virtual machine that has your own OpenClaw assistant in there, and it's limited to only files and anything in that working directory, nothing else. A lot of people have had trouble with OpenClaw in the past. It has leaked personal information, people's credit card information, but using a sandbox like this kind of removes that fear. So I just pasted in the command to download OpenClaw. So I'm going to press enter. And as soon as I did that, you knew that it was trying to access a website that it didn't have access to. So guess what happened, guys? It got 403 forbidden, meaning it was blocked. Now, let's say I wanted to allow that. So I'll go back to my dashboard and you can see the OpenClaw.ai is blocked. Then I'll press allow. And then, all right, then it asks me, are you sure you want to allow access to this? I'll press yes. Then I'll press in that command again. So now you can see that OpenClaw is finally installed successfully and is running on this sandbox environment now, because originally it was blocked until I allowed it. So that gives you that confidence that, okay, nothing is going to be downloaded onto your sandbox or even your local laptop, because it's going to be running on a sandbox without your permission. So now OpenClaw is running, and I want to show you guys that it's limited to the sandbox environment. So I'm going to ask it, what files do you have access to? Show me the hidden ones you have as well, and display the results here. Then I'm going to type and press enter. So you can see the only file I've put in that folder was a old thumbnail that I have for my videos. And your OpenClaw is basically secured in this sandbox environment. It only has access to that specific directory. It can't escape it. It can't open up a new network without your permission, like I showed you guys even when I was trying to download OpenClaw. And let's say hypothetically, things go wrong. Let's say your OpenClaw or your AI agent or your Codex AI agent, whatever it is gone haywire. How would you stop it from doing that? It's very, very simple with the sandbox environment. Let's say this is the test folder is the one that I'm actually working in. All I have to do is stop. So this will first stop the sandbox, so stop everything from working. And once it does that, you can see everything has stopped. Then you can just press remove, and that's it. So this just kind of shows you the whole point of sandboxes. The reason most people don't let their agents run on their own isn't that the agents are bad at the work. It's that one wrong move on your real machine is permanent, and sandboxes take that risk off the table. The agent runs flat out inside a sealed microVM locked to a network that you actually have control over. And if it breaks something, you just delete it and start over. The limit was never what these agents could do, it was whether you could safely let them do it, and this is a pretty clean answer to that. And if you want to try it for yourself, the link is also in the description. And once again, thanks to Docker for sponsoring this video. But that's it for today's video. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Follow our new newsletter as well at universeofai.beehive.com, as well as subscribe to the main channel World of AI, and support us on X by following the Universe of AIZ as well. Until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.